Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today afternoon news for Friday, July 21st. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Industrial action is continuing across the public sector as the island's 4 trade unions continue to press the Freundel-Stewart administration to address their concerns over the budgetary measures. The unions are requesting a reduction in the controversial National Social Responsibility Levy, which was increased from 2 to 10% this month. Barbados Today understands that the go-slow at various departments, including the port, continues. However, operations have returned to normal at the Transport Board. Yesterday, drivers staged a sick-out, leaving passengers across the island stranded. The private sector has been calling on the unions to end their protest, saying it has begun to affect businesses. Meanwhile, there are reports that the unions and private sector are in talks today, and a meeting of shop stewards and the General Council of the National Union of Public Workers has been called for 5 o'clock this afternoon. Meanwhile, the trade unions are dismissing as malicious a message being circulated suggesting that they are supporting a private sector position of no confidence in the current government. In a statement circulated to the media, the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, the Barbados Union of Teachers, the Barbados Workers Union, and the National Union of Public Workers say this is the work of mischief makers whose sole intention is to try to shift focus away from the union's position on this year's budgetary measures.
We continue to insist that the government must exercise purposeful leadership in bringing the stakeholders, the key stakeholders of this country together for the purpose of meaningful dialogue to address the critical economic realities which impact upon us all. We continue to maintain the view that there needs to be an increase for public sector workers who have not received an increase in almost a decade. Additionally, we recognize that the National Social Responsibility Levy is an unnecessary and repressive imposition on the citizens of this country, particularly the vulnerable, the workers and pensioners at the bottom of the scale. We will continue to act in the manner provided for in the democracy which today is still ours, to be the voice of and for the people we serve. Beyond the complaints, we look forward to being part of the solution, and we therefore anticipate that another 3 weeks won't go by where we are unable to participate in a meaningful recovery exercise. We therefore emphatically disassociate ourselves from any move that would align our interests with any initiative which has as its objective a call for elections. Our only focus is to deliver on the will of the people we serve.
In other news this afternoon, Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite says the ability of pawn shops to accept stolen goods is fueling the current spate of robberies and burglaries. Brathwaite made the observation during a news conference yesterday to give an update on the state of crime on the island.
From what I'm being told, which I wasn't really aware of, frankly, is that we now have a couple of pawn shops that is not even just jewelry, that in fact that you can take in tools and be loaned some money against your tools, etc. From what I'm being told, that in fact that persons are able to steal property, taken to these entities, have cash against them, etc., and not enough due diligence, not enough questions are being asked in terms of, well, can you prove to me, whether or not this stuff is actually yours and stuff. They are not now presently regulated, and I'm going to place them high on our agenda in terms of having them regulated.
Members of the legal fraternity are paying their final respects to the late Director of Public Prosecutions, Charles Leacock. Leacock died earlier this month after undergoing prostate surgery in the U.S. Ahead of today's funeral service, Prime Minister Freundel-Stewart described him as a devoted public officer and a great lawyer. Stewart recalled that his relationship with the late DPP goes back 35 years when they met at the Hugh Wooding Law School in Trinidad. He said they fought many battles together, with Stewart being a defense lawyer while Leacock was a prosecutor. According to the Prime Minister, they both did the first criminal case in Barbados to be decided on the basis of DNA evidence. And despite serving on opposite sides of the courtroom, Stewart said he and Leacock had many good times together and he remembers him with profound gratitude. Leacock is survived by his wife Betty June and 2 sons.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going to provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados Today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the window for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shining. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back now with news from the region. High-ranking officers in the Guyana police force could be summoned before the ongoing Commission of Inquiry into the alleged plot to assassinate President David Granger. The aim is to determine whether there was failure or neglect by law enforcement authorities to investigate the allegations.
Yes, Benny, if you look at the terms of reference speak to the process, how the investigation was handled, who knew what, where, when. It speaks about to defects perhaps in the system and all of that. So almost certainly senior persons in the force are going to be someone to explain what took place and certain systemic, that's the word they use, issues.
Assistant Police Commissioner retired Paul Slow. Mr. Slow is heading the Commission of Inquiry. Slow reiterated that the Commission of Inquiry will record and report on what official action was taken on the basis of the information received that there had been, allegedly, a plan to assassinate President Granger.
How many witnesses are expected to be called to the stand?
Well, quite a few. As it is now, I can't give an exact number, but, you know, as the inquiry progresses, names are going to be called, and as the names are called and persons are mentioned, then I will seek to summon those persons to give evidence.
Commissioner Slow maintained that all evidence and information received by the COI will be vigorously pursued.
And finally, 3 Palestinians have been killed during clashes with Israeli security forces in East Jerusalem and the occupied West Bank. Officials say at least 200 people were hurt in the violence after days of friction over a Jerusalem holy site boiled over. Palestinian factions had called for a day of rage to protest new Israeli security measures at the compound. Tensions have been high since 2 Israeli policemen were killed last Friday. And that's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can find us on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Mary Claire Williams. Do have a good afternoon.